Celtics game highlight is presented by T-Mobile.
Schroeder's come in. Jaylen Brown sits down. Pass nearly deflected and stolen. Here comes Smart. Celtics running. Back for Tatum. Over the shoulder and an easy bucket for Jason Tatum. Start. He's been playing beautiful basketball. Oh, Tatum rejects it out of bounds. Coming off the bench, doing some starting. A little bit of everything. Grant Williams wide open for three. Smart goes right at Patty Mills. Nice drive and finish with a beautiful pass to Horford. Moving without the ball.
Yeah.
By the way, the technical foul was on Ime Udoka, not Marcus Smart. As Hart knocks down a three, and just like that, it's the largest lead of the night. Williams gets knocked down on a screen. Aldridge, using his size, shoots and scores. LaMarcus Aldridge. That pass deflected. Celtics showing they still have a little fight. Langford hits a three. Parker on hard. Long three-pointer. Way off. Schroeder the rebound. Parker's ahead down the other end. Catches. Goes inside. Lays it up and in. Short. Rebound Schroeder. Tatum's ahead. He's all alone. They find Tatum for the flush. It's a 12-point game. Now dribbles. Continues down the lane and missed it. Now we're past the midway point of the fourth. Marcus Smart steps into a three, count it, and the foul. Smart with a chance for a four-point play. They'll be 12-2 in their last 14 games. 5 straight road wins as Sharp throws it down on the alley-oop.
T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Scal, Kendrick Perkins, Amina Smith here with you. And the Celtics, they lose this one to the Brooklyn Nets, 123-104. And the Celtics came into this matchup playing their best basketball so far this season on a 3-game winning streak. Scal, what happened tonight?
So a few things. The Brooklyn Nets are really good now. You can start to see, like, Kevin Durant and James Harden did what they wanted. The role players stepped up. But the biggest thing I saw was, like, we lost our identity. That all those times, and it wasn't just that. Since the team meeting, and I thought the defensive energy, the defensive identity, I don't think it was there. I don't think the multiple efforts was there. And if it was during one run to get it back to to make it somewhat respectable, it didn't finish out. And you got to play close to 48 minutes against the Nets.
And Perk, what was your big takeaway after tonight?
I'm with Scal, the sense of urgency, right? And when you look at this type of test for the Boston Celtics, you're going against one of the favorites to win it all, the top of the Eastern Conference, the number one team in the Eastern Conference. You have to make sure that you're paying attention to the little things, the little detailed things that matters. Like, we heard the great Doris Burke talking about, finding Patty Mills and, how do you lose track of him and things to that nature. And those things add up. And you have to make sure that you minimize the mistakes that you're doing in a game like this, especially the way that the Brooklyn Nets has been rolling. And also, I said it before the show started in the pregame, Kevin Durant, look, he comes out at jump ball and tip off and he hugs and embraces Jason Tatum, but in his mind, he's taking that matchup personal. I know him. I know how he operates. That's why he came out. He was defending him. That's why he came out, with that certain type of energy. You saw him defensively all over the place because he always wants to set the tone, or he always wants to see what it's all about. And he loved these types of matchup. And I just think Jason Tatum didn't match his energy the same way, or his tenacity or focus.
And speaking of energy, the Celtics, they were outscored 18-3 in that third quarter. When you take a look at it, Scal, how did that set the tone for really the rest of this game with the energy they came out with?
Yeah, you're already down 13. You heard us on the halftime show. I said, you got to make the Nets call the first timeout. You got to come, all the cliches, punch them in the mouth. You got to, take the fight to them. They didn't do that. So you're down 13. They go 18-3 on you. And it was exactly what Perk was talking about. No impacting the ball, no taking the individual challenge, no sitting down and making things tough for anybody else. And it was 3 after 3 after 3. And then offensively, we went back to, well, I guess we're getting busted. I guess it's my turn to see if I could play hero ball. And that's just not going to work. It's not going to work against bad teams. It's definitely not going to work against all the teams that are going to end up making the playoffs or have a chance to win a championship.
And Perk, I don't know about you, but watching this game from the very beginning, it really felt like the energy was very low from the Celtics coming out of the gate in this one. How did that play a factor in tonight's loss?
It played a huge factor, and I don't understand it, right? Like, you're going against the Brooklyn Nets. You're at home. You've been playing well. How is the energy not there? Like, you embrace those type of games. I know it's just regular season, but still, like, Scal could contest to this, that when we were playing, like, those big games, national televised, you're on the center stage, those head-to-head matchups, you wanna embrace that, especially being at home. And I just didn't understand the lack of energy, the lack of effort. And it's almost like one team was more prepared than the other one, because we saw the Brooklyn Nets, they were tied on the string. I said at halftime, put LaMarcus Aldridge in the pick and roll and try to attack him. He actually proved me wrong in the second half, because I thought he did a pretty damn good job of actually anchoring the defense.
And Perk brought up preparation. And when I think about this matchup, when the Celtics came into this game, Scal, I really thought that this was going to be a tough matchup because of the way we saw the Celtics play so far this season. I mean, was it preparation? Was it just energy? Like, what was it with them?
So Perk knows, like, and he brought up the old school Celtics, 08, 2010, right, that era. But it's Thanksgiving, right? Everybody's coming to town. Everybody wants the tickets. You got to say, like, all right, look, I got the Nets. So you guys figure out the tickets. You guys figure out what you got to do. Here's a number. Call this person. And you don't deal with none of that. I'll see you guys at 10:30 when this thing is all over, and then we'll talk about what we're going to have and all that. Like us, me and Perk, and Amina, we can talk about what we're having for Thanksgiving.
That is very true.
Nets, they got to be focused on Kevin Durant and James Harden. So that, to me, it looked like and Amina, this is real stuff. Like, when family comes to town, they want to go to the game. They want to spend time with you, all that stuff, right? Like, you got to push that stuff to the side, at least until, this game is over. And I'm not using that as an excuse. We can get into the basketball side of it. But when you're playing against Kevin Durant and he's coming at you, sometimes it's better for the team to be on the road and to play these type of games, or on the road for the Christmas Day game. Because tonight it didn't look like they were wondering what they're having and who's sitting where and who's making what. Like, that's we talk about that.
They definitely didn't look like they were locked in out there on the court. Let's take a look at how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown did tonight. 15 points for Jason Tatum, 13 for Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum just 4 of 16 from the field, while Jaylen Brown 5 of 15. Not good from 3 at all. 1 of 9 for Tatum, nothing for Jaylen Brown out there on the floor. And I take a look at this and I think about Jaylen Brown obviously being out with that hamstring injury, but he did put up 19 the other night. But let's start with Jason Tatum. Perk, when you see those numbers from Tatum on a night like this, what's running through your mind?
Just like I said, was he ready for the matchup? I don't think mentally he knew what Kevin Durant was going to come at him with in the Garden. And I think, when Jason Tatum, as he started to take that leap into being elite and being mentioned in, one of the best players in the NBA, he has to know, like, when another best player or the best player, because one could say that Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA, when he comes into your building, you have to be ready. One thing I could say, look, Paul Pierce, a lot of people talk a lot of crazy noise about Paul Pierce, the truth. But when the truth had matchups like against Kobe, against Braun, against D-Wade, things to that nature, and they was coming into the Garden, the truth was ready. He was ready for that. He used to say, look, if they give me their work, they're going to have to bust my head to the white meat. I'm going to keep coming. And that's the mindset Jason Tatum has to have.
But see, I feel like sometimes Tatum does have that mindset when you have teams like the Lakers come, when the Nets come usually. Last season, Golden State Warriors. What? When they played the Lakers, he dropped 30-plus points.
Stop it. Not the Lakers. Not the Lakers. Not the Lakers.
Look, I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Look, let me tell you how bad the Lakers is right now. And I know they got to win tonight. But if it was me,
Go ahead.
If it was me, you and Scal, all we had to go do was pick up 2 senior citizens and tell them to stand in the corner, and we could beat the Lakers the way they playing right now.
I'm telling you.
Wait a minute.
No one's saying that but me. Everybody's saying they're going to be good one day. Me and Perk are like, they're not good right now. They're just not a good team. I don't understand why people keep saying that. So here's the thing. Like, I don't know what happened to Jaylen Brown, but I look like to me with Tatum. I feel like he was trying to get everyone involved, and I thought he did a good job of doing that. But like, there are nights where you have to have that great balance. I love the way that he passed today. I thought he was making the extra pass. So when Tatum gets downhill and makes the extra pass, he has to get that next possession. Whether the guy makes it or misses it, it can't go somewhere else. Give that ball back to Tatum so he can get downhill and make the extra pass, right? And eventually, he's going to have those reps, and then he's going to get it going offensively. There was never a moment in this game where he had that, 10 points in 2 minutes, which we always see from him. So, I thought he did a decent job of moving it and hitting open guys. But there's a balance when you're playing against Kevin Durant. And, maybe I'm being a hypocrite right now because Kevin Durant, he makes the extra pass and he finds out a way to get 30.
But see, that's the thing. Yeah, I want to see Jason Tatum just be a little bit more consistent out there on the court. All right, you see the final score right there, 123-104 from inside of TD Garden. Coming